Welcome everyone to starting and operating a business in Springfield Township. We're very excited to put on this presentation for the very first time and looking forward to offering it online for the future so that it's easy to start a gig here in the township. We want to be sure, my name is Susie, I am a commissioner on the Board of Commissioners and president of the board, and just wanted to welcome everyone to the township, find a way to jumpstart those of you who may be thinking about how to move into township if you already have a business elsewhere, or if you're just sitting at home with an idea burning in your mind. We want to be sure it's as easy as possible to get started. Here we have for you our director of planning and zoning, and our assistant manager, Craig Lloyd, who will be presenting to you today. They've been working really hard on this presentation. I've been looking forward to it. And so I'm going to step away now. And really looking forward to having everyone participate today.
Thank you. Good morning. Again, my name is Craig Lloyd. I'm the Assistant Township Manager, Finance Director. Thank you for coming here to the Township Building this morning, and also thank you to those that are on the Zoom platform as well. We will be recording this meeting, and also we'll be placing it on our website later today. And we will also have this slideshow. So those that are out on Zoom may not be able to see the full screen, but we will be putting a slide deck out there as well. So you can actually follow along with the presentation if you have any questions. So again, my name is Craig Lloyd. I'm the Assistant Township Manager, Finance Director. Mark Pennicow, Director of Planning and Zoning. And just a little disclaimer, this particular session, we're not taking a replacement of your lawyers or your CPAs or anything like that. This is just an informational session just with regard to how we operate here in the township. We will be going over some of the different taxing entities and some of their requirements, but that would still be your responsibility to go ahead and contact your own contacts to get everything squared away on that end. So with regard to starting a business and the taxation side of things, you have the federal level, you have the state level, and at the local level. So I'll be having a screenshot here of the federal side of things where you can go to IRS Publication 583, starting a business, and that has a lot of information in that. Also, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, the state of Pennsylvania, they put all of their business registration information online. It's called MyPath. You have to register on that, register for that. And that's pretty much online. They stopped accepting a lot of paperwork. They still are doing a little bit of paperwork. And then at the local level, we're going to be talking about H.A. Berkheimer, who collects taxes for the township at for the earned income tax and the local services tax. And then Tri-State Financial Group, they actually handle the business registration for businesses and entities within Springfield Township. So we'll cover a little bit about that. So again, the IRS website, www.irs.gov, has a lot of great information. You go into their website and there's a tab on there to go ahead and click on the forms and publications. This would probably be one of the best forms or publications to start out with. There again, publication 583. And it has, there again, it has a lot of information there to tell you how to structure things and everything like that. Like I mentioned before, there's a plethora of information in there. Also with regard to the IRS, I remember from a tax seminar years ago that 5% of the tax law is applicable to 95% of the population. 5%, 95% is only applicable to 5%. So it's a big inverse on that. So there's a lot of information out there, but a lot of it may not actually pertain to you. One of the first things that you'll want to do is get your business registered. You want to keep your social security number safe. So typically what people do will go and register for an employer identification number. And the employer identification number is 9 digits, just like your social security number, but it would be associated with the business. So you would try to use that to eliminate any fraud and also keep some of your personal matters separate from the business matters. As I mentioned before, registering your business in the state of Pennsylvania has a number of steps associated with it, but you would actually go to Pennsylvania Gov, and then they have a business tab, and you can go ahead and starting a business on there, and that'll get you into the My Path tab. In the My Path tab, there's quite a bit of information in there as well. And registering a business in Pennsylvania, you have to register the business, but your business might be subject to other state implications. So if you're like a retailer, then you're going to be doing cigarette tax, you're selling cigarettes, or maybe a tax associated with that. Small games, if you're doing lottery, motor fuel carriers. So there's a lot of different designations that have additional requirements to register with the state. But there again, you will get a lot of that information out there. We'd also reached out to Rep. Nelson's office, and they supplied us with a number of resources, and I have some here that I'll have at the township. They gave us the Pennsylvania One-Stop Business One-Stop. So it's an entrepreneur's guide for starting and growing a business in Pennsylvania. We have a limited amount here, but if you reach out to Rep. Nelson's office, we should be able to help you out with that as well. And we also have a couple of cards with regard to PA Small Business Advocate, and a couple of different things associated with that, PA Business Resources. Also, with regard to the state of Pennsylvania, depending on the type of business that you're in, you would have to pay state tax, but if you have employees, you're going to pay withholding tax on your employees on their salaries. Also, the state collects unemployment taxes, so that would be something that you would have to work out with them as well. And there again, all of that would be situated within my pay. I also have here some other of the forms that you would actually see online with regard to the state Pennsylvania sales tax forms, getting yourself registered for a number. So once you register with the state, you would get your state ID. You might have separate IDs for different things. You might have an ID for your employer withholding. You might have a sales tax exemption number. So there again, getting into My Path and having your financial professional help you get everything squared away is our best suggestion. At the local level, the township itself does not actually take in any monies on a regular basis. Pretty much just for if we sell refuse cans, taking in building permits and zoning permits, we'll take cash in for that. But all our taxes are handled by outside agencies or elected officials, such as our property taxes in the township are collected by Joel Kleinman, who's our tax collector. All the employer withholding taxes in the township and local services taxes, our agent is H.A. Berkheimer. And as I mentioned earlier, for our business and business registration agent would be Tri-State Financial. So these links are also on our webpage, the township's webpage, that you can go ahead and register your business going to our website and clicking Tri-State Financial Group. And then you'll see here, you'll come down into here, click on Springfield Township. And then this is the page where you would actually go ahead and have your application for your license, where you can actually download that. And the license download is a pretty simple form. We can pass that around. So you would fill that in, download that, and get that to Tri-State. And how that works at the township is the township has tax rates based on the type of business that you're in. And with the Tri-State, it's based on your gross revenues. So it's not your net profit, it's based on your gross revenues. So for if your business is considered a wholesale business, your tax would be 0.1% on your wholesale sales. If it's a retail, it would be 0.15 on your total sales, on your gross sales. If you're a service business, it would be 0.2, and if you're a rental business, it would also be 0.2. So what that means is And if you're a if you're a landlord, whether it's commercial or residential, you need to register your properties with, register with Tri-State as well. That way we can work on that. And Mark and I work with Tri-State on a regular basis when there's any property transfers within the township to let people know, and also let people know that you have to register with Tri-State on that end. Also, Tri-State and Berkheimer both have great working relationships with the state of Pennsylvania. So they get reciprocal information back from the state of Pennsylvania. So sometimes you might get a notice from them and you may not have registered. They will give you a friendly reminder and say, hey, we've seen that you claimed this on your state tax, but you didn't claim it on your local. Can you help us out and find where the disconnect is at? So there may be a time that you get a notification from either Berkheimer or Tri-State with regard to some of the business that you may have reported at the state level. Here is a copy of a typical Tri-State tax return. So what I'm passing around to the audience, the viewers on Zoom can see. So there's a copy of the application that I passed out a little bit ago. And here's a copy of the actual tax form for the period in which you are filing. To register your business with Berkheimer, H.A. Berkheimer, this is their webpage on there. Again, we have these links on our website. And on this one here, if you don't have anything set up, you can actually go ahead and register account on this page as well. Once you go in, this would be the next page. So if you're an employer, you can do your employer earned income tax or local services tax, which here in the township, we have both. There are some municipalities that don't. They either have one or the other, or they could have both. But in this case, Springfield does have both an earned income tax and a local services tax. The employer earned income and local services taxes, and then also Berkheimer does collect business privilege tax and mercantile tax and amusement tax for other municipalities, but we do not actually do that here in the township. We use Tri-State for our business and business privilege tax, our mercantile tax, and then for payroll preparation and all. Well, we do mechanical device invoices here, don't we?
Mechanical permits, yes.
Yeah. We do the permits here, and that is one of the only other things here in the township that we actually do here.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, Craig. Thank you. As exciting as all that fun tax stuff was, I'm going to take you down a drier lane, zoning, which is a big part of any new business that comes into Springfield Township. There is usually, Greg's got it up here.
Here, over here.
Look at that. So anytime we get into somebody that wants to open a new business in Springfield or in any municipality, there's really four things that come into play. One of which is you want to make sure that whatever business that you're looking into, before you enter into a lease agreement or an agreement of sale with any property, you check with either the zoning ordinance, or you can always call our office and make sure that whatever the use is that you're proposing for that district is a use by right, and we can issue you an occupancy certificate. The next item that we usually check anytime a business comes in is different types of businesses have different types of on-site parking requirements. And we check a specific property to make sure that the parking that's available will support whatever the proposed use is or the proposed collection of uses for that site. Signage is a very, very big part of any business that opens up. If our residents can't find you, if people traveling up and down our business corridors don't know you're there, it has a severe negative impact on your business. So you can always contact our office to find out what's permitted as far as signage, and there is a variety of signage that's permitted in Springfield, from freestanding signs to monuments to wall signs to projecting signs. The sign ordinance is pretty liberal and allows you some great options. Another item that is very important to any new business, because it's a cost factor, is fire protection. And it comes up with a lot of businesses, especially along our commercial corridors. In many cases, we have commercial or office space on the first floor, and we may have apartment uses above it. There's different types of fire protection requirements. If a building's required to be sprinklered, if it's a food establishment, or if it's just required to have interconnected alarms. So our office is available, Monday through Friday. We're here every day from 8 to 4:30. Our numbers are all on the webpage. You can contact us at any point. We're here to help you in any way, shape, or form that we can, and try to make sure that you get the best possible information as soon as possible. The more that we can get you that information up front, the better it works out, and the smoother the process goes. So again, zoning is usually not the real fun part of a new business, but it's a phone call, and if we get you in the right direction right up front, it can really streamline the process. So again, there's some slides that we put together, which all this information's available on. Again, these will all be up on our website. Our contact info is there. I'll tell you right up front that our zoning ordinance is online as well. However, we're in the process of updating that ordinance and making it hopefully a lot more user-friendly. So for now, I tell people my phone number's up there. Call if you have any questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them. We have a couple of pet peeves in our office. One, if you call today, I will do everything in my power to make sure I return your call today. I don't like to make people wait. And we have a very easy theme in our office. We believe we're in the customer service business, and the residents are our customers. So again, anything that we can answer for you, feel free to give me a call. My direct extension number is 1114. Also on this slideshow is our fire marshal, Pat DePaul. His direct number's up there. He'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you would have related to fire protection. Craig, I'll go through just the last slide here that it talks about building permits and what's required for building permits, and the fact that Springfield Township adopted the state building code. That includes the mechanical, the plumbing, the electrical, and also accessibility codes. We also adopted the state's life safety code for fire protection. We have people in our office that have their state certifications that can answer any questions you would have that come up related to building permits, what's required, plan submission, and things of that nature. For commercial properties, you do have to know right up front, alterations and changes to commercial properties in the state of Pennsylvania do require professionally drawn plans. However, in many cases, we would tell you to give us a call up front. We'll go over your proposed project with you. And if there's something we can streamline along those lines, we will. The goal is to try to get complete permit submissions sent in right up front so that we can get those reviewed and issued to you as soon as possible. I am a little prejudiced. I think we do a really good job. We average less than 10 days for residential permits and less than 2 weeks for commercial projects, which in our particular area of Montgomery County is pretty good. Again, if you have any questions, our numbers are all on the board. They're also on the website and they're part of this slide presentation. Feel free to give us a call with any questions you would have. Craig, you want to close it out? Thank you.
So as I mentioned earlier in the slide, in the presentation, on the township webpage, we have access, we have resources here listing the millage rates for real estate, our earned income tax rate, the business privilege rate, the mercantile rate. So these are just a rehash of what I spoke about earlier. The local services tax, which comes to the township and is collected by Berkheimer, it's basically $1 per week, which is $52 annually. So there again, all this information, and then the slide deck will be added to the website as well. Here's a copy of the planning and zoning's homepage. There again, you have your drop-down boxes, your drop-down boxes and your different boxes down in here to go into and get information. As Mark said, if there's something that you don't see in there, you can feel free to reach out to his office and they will get everything squared away for you, looking to try to help you out the best they can. Also, you'll see here the fee schedule. The fee schedule was last updated, what, 2 years ago? 2023. So that's probably going to be revisited probably in the next year. About every 3 or 4 years. Some additional resources. The DCED at the state level, that's a great resource. Also, the Pennsylvania State Department of State, that's where you would actually register your corporations, LLCs, partnerships. They have some resources there as well. There again, like I mentioned before, make sure you work with a financial and legal professional when setting up your businesses on that end. This presentation was mainly set up just to give you information as to how we operate here in the township. Are there any general questions in the audience? Let me see if I can pull anybody up online.
And it would be a legal professional that would assist you in determining what type of business you start, whether it's a LLC or that type of entity.
The question was reaching out to legal help for starting a business between legal and financial. It could be a little bit different depending on the business that you're starting. Perhaps you're starting a food and drink establishment, but you own the building. So you might need help with an attorney to set up businesses separate to limit your liability. That way you might set one business up for the restaurant portion, another business up for the owning of the property and everything like that, just a way to limit your liability should something have a slip and fall or something like that, or something unfortunate happens or whatever like that to limit your liability. So you want to make sure you have both a good financial person and a good legal person as well. And there again, they should know your tax status, and see what's best for you as to how you're setting up, because there are individuals that might have multiple businesses, so they might have to structure it to help offset some of the expenses of some other businesses and everything like that. So there again, make sure you have a good finance person, that's a business person, and a good finance person on the legal side. I've run into over the years where people who have set up businesses and said, I'm an attorney and I set my business up, but yeah, you're a defense attorney. You don't know anything about business. You may have had it in school, but you don't know anything about it. So you might want to consult with a colleague that's more in tune with the business that you're getting ready to start. Yes.
Give a breakdown of approximately how many businesses are in the township, what type of businesses, do you have any?
We get a list every year as to who the agencies are, the different businesses from Tri-State and then also from Berkheimer. I don't know off the top of my head, but we get that quarterly because things do change on that end. Also with regard to even some businesses that are staying in the same type of field, they change pretty regularly as well. Rental properties, so no, I don't actually have a number of businesses, but I do get lists every so often from the different taxing agencies, but we never just compile a list. But I'm actually going there. That's something I can go ahead and add out there as a, frequently asked question, how many businesses are out there? I'll see if I can put that on the website as well.
The other half of your question as to the types of businesses. Springfield Township, I would tell you, runs the full gamut of businesses. Obviously, we have market deal. We have professional office space, which you see. We have a variety of medical offices that are throughout the township. When I say we have professional office, that's generally, your accountants, your realtors, your engineers, architects, things of that nature. We have personal care businesses, which are throughout the entire township. A simple explanation of a personal care business is it's usually a definition, something similar to direct laying of hands in relation to transfer of goods and services. In layman's terms, barbershops, hair salons, nail manicurists, those types of businesses. We have home occupations. Prior to 2000, with the pandemic, we did not have that many home occupations, and they were generally limited to in-home medical offices. We had some home dental offices. We had a lot of psychiatrists and sociologists that operated. After the pandemic, you saw more and more in-house billing and those types of services that could be done at home by way of parcel drop-off and things. So I would tell you from a business standpoint, we run the full gamut of businesses. Obviously, if you travel up and down our business card, you'll see a variety of food establishments and banks and financial institutions. As I said, I think we covered just about everything.
Along those lines, are there any specific requirements for like industrial welding, that type of thing, or?
There are. Springfield Township has two separate industrial districts. They have an industrial district that we cover those types of manufacturing uses. And we also have something called a light industrial district, which kind of creates a little bit of a buffer, so to say. They're lighter uses. A prime example of something that would be in a light district is if you're out like Cheltenham and Burke's Nursery, landscaping and nursery, kind of creates a buffer between the heavy industrial uses and the residential districts, so that we have a buffer for noise, light, those types of things. So, yeah, yes, we have two districts.
Would you say there are any common pitfalls for business owners that you run into, maybe a frequent calls that you get regarding opening business?
Mainly what I do like to, and we covered it in the very beginning of the presentation, before you enter into a lease agreement or an agreement of sale, please call us. Let's check the zoning. Let's make sure that the property that you have interest in will support the business you're proposing to put there. We've had quite a few applications that end up, and there is a recourse for that, it's the zoning hearing board. It ended up in front of the zoning hearing board because you entered into a lease agreement or an agreement of sale to purchase a property, and your proposed use is not a permitted use in that district, and then it ends up in front of the zoning hearing board for a variance. And Commissioner, you're well aware, I don't know what a zoning hearing board would do with any specific application.
But there again, you would be incurring a cost to hire representation, most likely to hire representation to represent you, especially if you've outlaid monies already and signed a lease agreement. There might be an additional cost that you may not have planned on that you would be experiencing.
And there's also a time delay. I'm going to tell you, with the zoning hearing board, it's typically a 90-day process between the date of application to the end of your appeal process, the common police board's 90 days. So, I just can't emphasize enough, we're a service that's here. Use us, call. Our numbers are all on the webpage, direct extensions are listed there. If there's any questions, if there's any concerns, give us a call up front. We'll do everything we can to give you the right information as quickly as humanly possible.
Thank you.
Turn the camera on. I'm not sure from the audience, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
It's so-
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Short, sweet.
And for those viewing on Zoom, we're going to be shutting the meeting down right now, but thank you for attending. And like I said, we'll be putting this out on the website later today. Thank you.
Are you looking for a business in town? Do you already have some? Or think want to get that thing?
For me, I'm Mike, how are you?
No, maybe.
No, for me,